this week. Welcome back to the road to 1,000 users, where I document my road to coming up to 1,000 users on an app that I'm building this week. So you can see I picked up a couple of users from last week. I had 39 users last week, and I have 41. Big jump, I want to say, on the mom test. I had 5 meetings last week, I think, where I spoke to a freelancer. And it's been getting interesting. I've been talking to people. So I added these 5 countries here: Nigeria, China, India, South Africa, and Brazil, to the list of freelancers that I've spoken to. And it's interesting to hear all of the different problems. Like, everyone in these places has a different problem that they're trying to address when it comes to bubble freelancing. So for example, yesterday I spoke with somebody from Brazil, and his major problem is that no code is kind of a dirty word in Brazil, or no code and low code is kind of a dirty word. It's not really taken seriously. Most people are not even aware of it yet. And if they do know about it, it's kind of like this second rate or second class developer community. So that's both a problem in India and Brazil, actually. Both of those 2 countries, the freelancers that I spoke to there said the same thing. It's kind of like no one wants to deal with no code. Let me put my headphones on. No one wants to deal with no code or low code, because they kind of look at learning how to code as a way to like prestige and like better economic situations. So the no code low code hasn't really fit into that, like learning how to code. They don't consider it the same thing, really. So there's a definite, like, it's a problem there. It's for somebody to get started building that community, to show that no code and low code tools do have a place, and there can be useful software built with that. So that's their problem. Their problem is their own kind of cultural shift to adopting these newer technologies. In Nigeria, on the other hand, the problem is the outer world's perception of Nigerian people, I guess. The problem there, because I think everyone's heard of like the Nigerian the Nigerian prince. So like they want to reach out to a wider audience outside of Nigeria, but they have a perception problem of like scamming. There, people are from outside Nigeria are afraid to be scammed, so they're like less likely to work with a Nigerian bubble developer, which I understand that perception because of how widespread that scam was. Everyone seems to know about that scam for some reason. But there's a big no-code developer community in Nigeria, and there's a lot of skill there. So the extent to which they can change that perception, I don't know what the answer to that solution is. I mean, I don't know what the solution to that problem is, but if they can figure that out, then they can market themselves as, like that's a huge community there that no one is tapping into. So I thought those were like just you can see kind of like my pie chart here. The global perspectives that I'm getting are kind of starting to outweigh the U.S. ones. I've only spoken to 10 people in the U.S. and everyone else has been abroad. 2 continents that I haven't spoken with yet are Antarctica and Australia. So if there's any Antarctic or Australian bubble freelancers or interested in bubble freelancing, I want to talk to you, because you're the only continents that I'm missing. All right, so 28 mom tests. All right, so what I really want, so these are my stats. I kind of just give this update each week to see the progress that I've made. But I think what I really want to talk about today is personalizing email outreach with clients. How this happens, someone will go to the Bubble website, they're a founder, or they have an app idea that they want to build, and they submit a request for proposal to Bubble, and that goes out to everybody with a Bubble agency account. Okay, so all of the freelancers that have a Bubble agency account will receive that email. What most agencies have done is they get that email, and then they blast an email back to the person that submitted the RFP with an automated email, which is very impersonal. I would say at the very best, it's impersonal. But I think you miss a lot if you do this. If you're so disconnected and you're just like email blasting and then waiting for people to book a slot on your Calendly, I think you're missing a lot of what could be a lot of how this relationship with the client could start. So to give you an example, I submitted an RFP to Bubble because I've been looking for freelancers to kind of offload some of this development work that I'm doing. And I got like 35 responses from I got about 35 responses overall, and 33 of them were automated emails that clearly did not read the the RFP. This is what most of them look like, right? So I'm going to just go through this. Hey, I'm this person with this company. We're an experienced team of no-code developers and designers. We provide the best possible solution using. I'm wondering if you might be open to gauge a fit, right? So right in this initial outreach, you can already see that this is not about the client, it's about the freelancer, right? Which I think is a misstep. So they're talking about themselves, and the emails that I got usually follow the same format. Hey, I'm introducing myself. This is what we do. We're awesome at it. Book a slot on my Calendly. Those like three things kind of run through like pretty much every automated email that I received. So as if I'm thinking about this from a founder's perspective, the end user that submitted the RFP, how do I discern between which freelancers to book time with? I don't want to talk to 30. I don't want to necessarily have to talk to 35 different people. But if all I got was automated emails, then I have to do that. I have to like go through and screen, set up meetings with 35 people. If each of those meetings is an hour, that's a full work week. That's a 40-hour work week. That's a lot of time. So from the founder's perspective, the person that submitted the RFP, it's difficult to discover like who would be good to work with from all of these automated emails that I'm getting. And you can see that this is very impersonal. There's really not a whole lot of effort coming from the freelancer side here. It may have been an effort to set this email automation up, but now it's just like, okay, I just expect people to come book a slot on my calendar. Let me contrast this with how I started reaching out to people. And this is the freelancers that I'm working with I'm giving them this, like what I'm encouraging them to do is to personalize that outreach just a little bit. You don't have to spend 2 hours on one email before you even know if this person is interested in working with you, but spend 5 minutes on it. Just spend 5 minutes to read the RFP. They're not that long, and put some kind of value up front and ask a targeted question about something that you saw in the RFP that may have piqued your interest. Even if it's just to show that you read the RFP, that puts you ahead of 90% of the agencies that this founder received a response from. Just to show that you read the RFP. It's like the bare minimum that you could possibly do, but it makes a difference. So okay, so this is an example of the way that I reached out, and I'll read this. I don't know if this is legible or not, but I'll read it. Thanks for reading my email. I'm sure that you're sorting through a lot of proposals from Bubble agencies that want to work with you. Okay, this is boilerplate language, right? Yes, I'm aware of that, but it does kind of speak to the problem that's in the client's head. It's like, I don't know who the fuck to talk to. Like 50 people reached out to me. Rather than provide you with a project estimate, which is what clients normally expect in the beginning, I want to share 3 mistakes that founders make when they hire a Bubble agency. So I'm putting myself in their shoes and saying, look, try to avoid these missteps here. They expect an estimate and time cost for the entire project. They're uninterested in how the technical specs of the apps work, and they build for the 10,000th user instead of the 10th. I think the part of the reason that I found some success using this email template is first that it's in my own speaking voice. I wrote this, so it feels like it's coming from a real person. Second is that a lot of the people that respond to me said, hey, thanks for being the only person that actually read my RFP. Like, that's the response that I was getting. that I get. I still get. I haven't had to reach out to do cold emailing in a while, but that's the response that I get. They appreciate just the fact that you read their RFP, which again is the bare minimum that you could possibly do as a freelancer. Like, you should be reading these RFPs before you reach out to people. I don't like the whole throw the spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. That may work for some people. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good start to a relationship. And you're building, again, like I said last week about trusted advisor relationships. I don't think this is a good way to start that, right? This sets it off on the wrong foot, in my opinion. Okay, so these three, so this right here is I'm trying to add some value to the client. They may have not known this, or they may not be thinking about it this way. I also want to pique their interest into explaining these things. Like, why do I think these things are true? No one else is telling them this for one reason or another. I don't know why, but I'm adding some kind of value up front, even if it's a small nugget of value. And this takes me no time. It took me time to write this the first time. I had to really think about what I wanted to say, but this isn't a long email. You see this. I actually cut this down quite a bit. This is a short email. It's easy for the client to digest. I'm not really asking them for anything. I'm providing the value up front. And then I ask a targeted question last to show that I read the RFP. Okay. And in this particular one, our students paying, I don't remember what the app idea was, but this did generate a response. I did get a response from the prospect to say, hey, I want to talk more about this. Now, the goal with this in this first initial contact is really just to start a cadence. It's just to open up the conversation. You're not going to get all of the project specs right off the bat. You're not going to know whether you've landed this client yet. You should be thinking of, how do I just start a conversation with this person? Like anyone else would. Like if you were on the street and you saw somebody that you may want to talk to, you chat them up on, you give them, like in the beginning, you give them kind of like a softball. It's like, hey, the weather or whatever, however you start conversations. Or look at that, we're both observing the same thing over there. Like you make a joke or something like that. It's just an opener, a little bit of an icebreaker. So that's really how you should be thinking about this email. I don't spend more than 5 minutes on any one RFP. I read the RFP, I think of a question that I want to ask them, and then this section here is already templated, so I don't have to write this. I just, it's just already in my drafts. And then this is the part that I personalize. This is the part where I show them, look, I read your stuff. I'm interested in the project. This is why. Now, this tells the client, just doing this, instead of, I could lead with, hey, look at all these projects I've done. Look at all of, I'm a great bubbler. I'm a bubble bootcamp instructor. All of those things would be true, but I don't lead with that because it's not about me. It shouldn't be about me. It should be about the client or the prospect that you want to start engaging with. Make it about them. If you do that, they're going to be more likely to respond to you. They're more likely going to want to have a conversation or set up a Calendly, and really build that relationship with you. So make it about them. The email should be about them, not about you as a freelancer. Everyone is saying how great of a bubble freelancer they are, and that may be true. It might be true. Everyone may be awesome, but it doesn't help the prospect distinguish one freelancer over the other. The way you can set yourself aside from what everyone else is doing is to personalize your email outreach. Make the outreach about the client, not about you. Yes, exactly. Those 5 minutes can get you a job. Though that little 5 minutes. And if you do this, okay. And to give you an idea of how often I would do this, I'm not doing this now. I'm not doing outreach now, cold email outreach now, because I have enough clients for the capacity that I have, right? I'm only one person. Now that's going to change in the near future because I'm partnering with other agencies, but I did get clients this way. I got clients, that were actually, they wanted me to build their app. I got other clients that were just coaching sessions because they were actually building in Bubble and they may be just stuck on something that I was able to help them work through a problem. So I was able to start relationships with this prospect. And, and I know how, like, if I reach out to 20 people, I'm probably going to get, if I send out 20 of these emails, I'm probably going to get like 3 to 5 responses. and we can take that conversation to the next step and see if we're a good fit for working with each other. But you have this almost deal flow. I know that if I reach out this many times, I'm going to get this number of responses, and this percentage of that I can probably turn into a client. And that percentage is really going to depend on you. I don't encourage you to take you should really be vetting your clients as much as they're vetting you. You want to be sure that they're serious about building an app, and you don't want to just take anyone that will take you. No, you should be discerning. You should be like, I think a big mistake that I made in the beginning was like, oh, well, I don't know when the next client is going to come. I have to take this one. I have to do everything they say. Not really. Not really. Don't do that. There's always going to be another client. There's always going to be another app idea. It's just about how consistent you are about using this methodology. You will get clients. You will get clients if you tailor your outreach and you're consistent with how often you're reaching out. I used to do like 5 a day, or as many. I think I would send out 5 emails per day. So at 5 minutes a piece, that's 5 times 5. That's 25 minutes. That's 25 minutes worth of work. And I would get, over 4 days, I'd probably get 3 to 4 responses from that total outreach, right? And you can increase that, you can decrease that, you can do it however you want. It's all about you. Like that's the beauty of working for yourself. You have complete control over how much work you do, or how much work you don't do, or when you do this stuff. You can do this in the middle of the night. You can do this after work if you have a full-time job. You can do this whenever. I don't want to throw shade to the people that I know are sending automated emails, because I do probably know you or will know you at some point. This community is pretty small, but I think we can do better than this. I think we can do better than just blasting every RFP with an automated response and hoping that they book a slot on our Calendly. I think we can do better. And for the people, the new freelancers that are getting into Bubble and that are working with me, I'm encouraging you to not only personalize your outreach. You can use my language. I don't care, because I'm probably going to change this anyway. Because I've been leading with this language for probably 6 months now, and I'm getting bored of it. So if you want to use it, fine. But I encourage you to really write an email in your own speaking voice. You want them to get a feeling for you and who you are and what you think is important. That's going to be important to build that relationship. So write your own. And if you do, I'm happy to review it, give you feedback on what I think is the, like how I think you can word things, and to try and maximize that response rate that you get. I started a Slack channel. We have a couple people in there now, so that we can go review materials like this, like drafting emails and, just kind of like general strategy for outreaching prospects and stuff like that. So if you're interested in joining that, hit me up and I will add you to the Slack channel. I'm watching myself. It's funny because I'm watching myself on the delay here, so I can see all the stupid faces that I'm making as I'm talking. It's fucking weird. Thank you for listening. If you are listening, if you're watching this on YouTube, try and join the Twitch stream. There's going to be a link to that in the description, twitch.tv/bubblehack. If you like this content and you want to see more of it, like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. I appreciate anybody that listens to me or is interested in bubble freelancing. Hit me up, because I want to talk to you. That's it for this week. Thanks, everybody.